Welcome to the Millcreek Government Channel. I am Judy Zelina. Today on our program, I'm really pleased to introduce the Executive Director of an organization that does wonderful things for women and families in our area. It's the Mercy Center for Women, and joining us, as I said, is the Executive Director, Christine Tombaugh. Christine, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I love to talk about Mercy Center and what we do.
Well, I love to let the viewers know about your organization because you do such great things. You know, I know, first off, every nonprofit or organization usually has a mission statement. What is yours, Chris?
Our mission statement is we're a sponsored ministry of the Sisters of Mercy, and we're here in the community to treat women with dignity and respect, helping them heal their body, mind, and spirit.
Now, and what exactly is your function, your role?
And my function is the executive director of everything from changing a diaper into making sure we have money coming in to pay the bills. So many aspects of what we do at Mercy Center.
It's everything.
Absolutely everything. It's running a huge household.
You provide so many services. Actually, what are some of the services that you provide our community?
Well, the main service that we are is we're a transitional housing facility for homeless women with or without children, which means that women can come to Mercy Center. It's not an emergency, so you have to go through an interview process, come to Mercy Center and live, and work on changing your life. So we have the shelter. If they need clothing, they come with nothing on their back, then we would have clothing for them. But then a lot of supportive services where they work with their advocate, case manager, and they set up goals of, the first goal that they're going to work on when they move in is how do we move out? So how are we going to find affordable housing? Maybe they need a job, maybe they need to go to school, maybe they have some health issues. So we're helping them gain all those things so that they become self-sufficient and are able to move out of Mercy Center.
Now, do you serve homeless women or
homeless women?
Homeless.
It would have to be, they have to be homeless to come into Mercy Center, and it could be women struggling with addiction, women struggling with a mental illness, women in domestic violence, women that have just made poor choices or in a bad relationship. So just somebody that really looks at their life and said, boy, I just need help to get back on track. And those are the women that we help.
Okay. What would a typical day at the center entail?
Well, a typical day
is there such a thing as typical?
Typical days are far and few between, but what's typical for one might not be the same for another. So, but a typical day would be getting up, either going to work, going to school, maybe going to an appointment, getting your children off to school, and starting your day. We always have a devotion meeting in the morning just to get everybody in the right place, find out where they need to go for the day and what they're doing. Many of them have appointments, whether it is with mental health, drug and alcohol. It could be OCY. They could be on parole.
Right.
So there's many programs that they're going through the day. Definitely meeting with their case manager. We could be having a program. We could be having a parenting class. Right now what's happening is we're having our Going Places Network, which is a program of Dress for Success, and that's just a job readiness program that the girls go through for 8 weeks. It's intense. They do mock interviewing. They get to interview with HR people in the community. It's a great program. So many of the women that don't have jobs are actually in that program right now.
Okay, so that is one of the services you provide, and I'm familiar with the Dress for Success program.
Right, Dress for Success is, I think, one of our great programs that we have at Mercy Center.
It really is.
We started in 2008, just knowing that women in the community really needed a place to be able to go, first of all, to get the tips and tools that they needed to be able to land that job. Most of the women didn't know how to dress for that job interview. So that was the main focus in the beginning, that you would have the right suit or the right casual outfit on when you went to apply for that job. also giving them tips that what questions do I ask, and how do I answer the questions that they ask me? Look them in the eye, shake their hand, just things that, the girls really didn't know.
Right.
And so from there, it expanded to a career center, to Going Places Network, which is job training, to a professional women's group. Once they get the job, then every month we meet and just talk about some of the problems that they might have at work, or, I don't have time to feed my children when I get home, I'm so tired. Can I have some quick, easy meals? Just everything from quick, easy meals to how do I handle one of my employees that I just don't know how to read her. So just helping them, gain tools that maybe come naturally to some of us, but to them it doesn't come natural.
So really one of the main service you provide is they come into the Mercy Center homeless, they don't have a job, no money coming in, they have children, they just don't know where to turn.
Right. Some do come to Mercy Center now with jobs, but they find themselves homeless, whether they got evicted, so some of them do have jobs.
Okay.
But maybe they got evicted from their apartment. So often, the women that are working are the working poor. So they live in an apartment, and maybe they don't have a car, maybe they do, but let's say they have a car.
All right.
And their car breaks down. And so, what do? Do they get the car fixed so they can go to work, or do they pay their rent? And then it goes to that vicious cycle again, then they're back homeless because they didn't pay their rent. So it's just trying to get them to the place where they can be self-sufficient and save money, teach them how to budget. Many of them, many people, even people that aren't at Mercy Center, don't know how to budget. And just giving them tools and tips of how they can save money and be the wise shopper, and, just kind of those things that come natural. But, for the women, it's a struggle.
Okay, now if they come to you and they don't have a job, do you help them find a job, or do they seek it on their own through maybe like
it's both. It's
career link, or
encouraging.
do you have companies, organizations, businesses that partner with you?
We do have a lot of individuals and businesses that will give us a call and say, "Do you have anybody? I have, this is what I have." So I think just building relationships, the staff and myself at Mercy Center, building relationships in the community. So people and businesses will say, usually I can get a really good staff person at Mercy Center. And especially since the Going Places Network job training that we have, the girls get to meet HR people. And so, one girl met the HR person from Subway, and she now has a job there, and she's working on being a manager. So there's just wonderful opportunities, but you have to a lot of times, before you can get to that point where you're there to get the job, a lot of times there's healing before that.
Okay.
So not everybody's ready to come into Mercy Center, get a job. There could be months of healing and dealing with some of the issues that brought you to homelessness.
And again, these are some of the services you provide. Helping them heal. I mean, speaking with counselors.
They're a case manager, but anybody that has some real problem emotionally, they would be involved with like stairways or safe harbor, because we don't do counseling. We don't have counselors on staff.
Okay.
We have case managers.
Okay.
So people that are women that are dealing with some problem that they really need to have a professional counselor, then they would get that out of Mercy Center. Women that have domestic violence issues, then we would send them to SafeNet for counseling.
All right.
Women that are in drug and alcohol, they would go to the drug and alcohol facilities and they would get that counseling there. So, we network with many, many agencies because we don't want to duplicate services. We provide a place for the women to live, a place for them to heal and grow, a place for them to have their children back, and to learn life skills and increase their self-esteem. Right. We have classes on building healthy relationships and classes on parenting, just, things that they're going to need to get them to being self-sufficient so they can move on their own.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now, how would a woman take part of your services? Are they referred? Do they just through word of mouth? Or is it referral?
Well, you have to, it isn't really referral. You can be referred. It could be word of mouth. It could come from your PO. It could come from a pastor. It could come from another agency. But you have to call Mercy Center and set up an appointment.
Okay.
And you have an interview. And the interview, there's a process for that interview. And then we take all kinds of information and we do referrals and, just kind of check on where you've been and where you need to be going.
All right.
And then they would have a second interview if the team finds them suitable to coming into Mercy Center. And then most often go on the waiting list. I hate to say, but we have 14 bedrooms and we're full constantly. And so until somebody moves out, then we move somebody in. We also have Mercy Heritage House, which houses 5 single women. So once they're at Mercy Center and they're single and they've really become self-sufficient, but they're not quite ready to go on their own, then they can move into Mercy Heritage House, where we just have a house manager that lives there and kind of oversees. So when a single woman gets ready to leave, then we have her bed down at Mercy Center. So
how many women tops can you serve?
Well, we can serve 14 at Mercy Center,
okay,
and we can serve 5 at Mercy Heritage House, so 19 women with children. Now, at Mercy Center, we have 14 women, and we have 12 children. So
wow,
it's really full.
Wow, it is.
It's very full, and the children are a joy to be around. And we just talked about the children yesterday, and it's so hard for their moms to kind of keep them controlled because they just think that they're at a party all day long.
They're having fun.
They're living with 12 other children, so they think it's fun. So the mothers they get frustrated because trying to get them to do their homework and get on bed on time when, it's fun. We deal with the problems.
Well, Christine, what changes, I want to ask you, are you seeing in the community that's impacting the Mercy Center?
Well, the changes definitely drugs and alcohol. I mean, there's a real problem with heroin, and it impacts, of course, the person, but it also impacts the family.
Yes, it does. So,
we're seeing a lot of women that come to us because of drug and alcohol. And I just, there isn't affordable housing, and there isn't really life-sustaining jobs. So I was really glad to read in the paper last week that I know it was Walmart, for one, is going to start raising their minimum wage, to a higher wage, because you cannot live making $7.50 an hour. And then if you happen to be on welfare, then what happens, even if you make $7.50, you're pretty okay, but the minute you get up to a job that pays $9 an hour, then maybe you lose your food stamps or you lose your medical. And then if you lose your medical and you happen to maybe you're bipolar and you need that medication, then what happens is your medication, you can't afford it, so you don't take it, and then you go back to that circle again, and then you find yourself homeless again. And I've always said that we, society, we, the agencies, we, the government, we create the barriers so often that keep people in poverty. There's all this checklist. They have to do this, they have to do that, they have to do this. And it's very, very frustrating, very, very frustrating.
It really is. I understand what you're saying. You hear people say, my gosh, I got this job, now I've lost my health.
And their luck, some of their luck. I mean, somebody could get a job, they get a job, and then their car breaks down because they buy a car for $1,000, and they expect that it's going to get them back and forth to work for a year, and that doesn't happen. And so it's all those added bills, the insurance, the car repair, and our transit system isn't that wonderful. You know, and especially if you're a mom and you don't have a car and you have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to catch the bus to take your children to daycare, then you have to get on another bus to go to work.
And it's difficult.
You know, so, you know, you're gone from home. You could be gone from home 14 hours. Because you don't have a vehicle, but you're really trying to change your life. You know, I look at it and think, we're so fortunate. I just get in my car and come to work. You know, get in my car, go home. Get in my car, go to the grocery store.
We don't even stop and think about it.
No, we're so fortunate.
Right.
And sometimes we have to put ourselves in a person in poverty's shoes. And the other thing is remember that, you know, they are a mother, they are somebody's sister, they're somebody's daughter or son, or, you know, respect, really respect them. And there are a lot of hardworking women out there that are really trying to change their lives, and that's what we do. We just give them the opportunity to change their lives at Mercy Center.
What are some of the other challenges that these women and children are facing?
Well, I think over the years they've probably made some bad decisions. Over the years, possibly they had a simple assault or even a felony, which is horrible, when they were 18, and now it has affected them. Now they're 35 and it's still affecting them. So it's a lot of the bad choices that they made, or it's just bad luck. So many of them just, really want to work on changing, and they do. And that's wonderful when we see someone, buy a house, or we see somebody get married, and has a wonderful relationship with a past love in her life, and it's just those good, and that just does your heart. I mean, I love it when I'm able to go to one of my past clients and say to them, I have a job opening at Mercy Center, and I think you'd be perfect for that job.
Oh, wow.
And to be able to hire girls that that actually lived at Mercy Center. And I can remember our last, we always have an alumni banquet every year in August, and I had asked the staff to stand, and one of the girls had just been hired that was a past client. And I just happened to look over to her and I says, would the staff stand? And she stood up and she had the biggest smile on her face. She was so proud that she could stand with the staff of Mercy Center, because she was actually there at Mercy Center when she was a little girl with her mother, and then made some bad choices. And when she was 19, she was there, and now she's 27 and she's working for us. So
you guys are truly family
we are family. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're sometimes their first family, because their first family, their real family, is not anywhere around.
All right.
Either they're out of town or they're gone. And, we're just, we're there for them, and they know that.
Okay. Now, where do your clients usually go after they're done with the program?
We have our aftercare program. So women that want to stay involved with us, they would get apartments. I mean, that's, we want them to get permanent housing.
Right.
So, and a lot of times they can't afford it, so sometimes they have to move back in with a family member. It's great to see where they've mended, the relationships with family, because they're doing so well, and they're staying clean and sober, or they're just right on track. They're not making all those bad choices, so they have great relationships with family. But when they're in their own home, then we follow them, and we have a case manager that meets with them in their homes and just kind of helps them continue. We follow them for as long as they want to follow. They want us to follow and be in their lives.
What is like the average stay?
It's about 15 months.
About 15
months. They can stay 2 years, with HUD regulations, but it is about 15 months.
So, okay, Christine, how can we help you?
Well, I think the community of Erie is very giving and very loving, and we thank them for their support always. I would just say continue. Call me at Mercy Center. There's opportunities to get involved. There's opportunities maybe to do a fundraiser. There's opportunities to save clothing. When the women leave Mercy Center, we put them up in housekeeping. So we need your good used furniture.
Oh, really?
Silverware, pots and pans, towels, sheets. Those are the things that we need for when the women to leave. So anybody that has those things can call Mercy Center, and we can make arrangements. The bigger things we can pick up. The other things, we would just ask that people drop them off. I can't, volunteer is, always opportunities to volunteer.
Well, and also clothing.
And clothing,
You need
absolutely.
clothing. Where would they drop that off?
They can drop the clothing off at Mercy Center at 1039 East 27th. Excuse me.
Now, the clothing, the clothing that you provide for the women for the Dress for Success. Do you have it down there on East 27th Street?
Dress for Success is at 1059 East 28th Street.
Okay.
So it's on the corner.
So you're all right around
right
in
around
there.
the same area.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And you can drop it off there from 8 to 4.
Okay.
Or at Mercy Center.
Okay. Now, the clothing and also the household items that we're collecting are just for the Dress for Success program. It's not
for
like
Mercy Center, yeah. The household items and everything would be for the women that leave Mercy Center.
Okay, so the clothing is for the Mercy Center for any of the women that come in, any of the children. So you would even need like toys. I mean, even if your children have outgrown toys, you'd be even welcome
Children's
to that.
clothes, the only thing we don't take is men's clothing.
Okay.
Children's clothing, women's clothing, and it could be casual because, even though we take the suits and more of the dressy clothes for Dress for Success, some of the women that come to Mercy Center don't have anything.
Right.
So anything that's good used, excuse me.
Well, I think the Dress for Success program is absolutely wonderful. I know I happened to just be at a different, it was a different event, and you had some of your girls, some of your workers were there talking, about the Dress for Success and different programs that you have. You have a great team. What a great crew you have.
We do. We have wonderful staff, dedicated.
Yes,
and it's more than a job, it's a ministry. With the Sisters of Mercy founded us, we still carry that spirit of mercy in everything that we do.
You do. Where does your funding come from?
Our funding comes from fundraising. We have government funding, Sisters of Mercy, donations from the community, and grant writing. Just a constant, balancing budgets and watching every penny that we spend. And
well, you do a great job because, you've got a full house there all the time, and you've got a waiting list. I know fundraisers are really, really important. Do you have any annual fundraisers that our viewers can keep an eye out for and help support you?
Our one fundraiser is Women Making History, which is always in March, Women Making History Month. And that's coming up March 31st at the D'Angelo Center. And then our Dress for Success fundraiser is our Purse and Pearl Luncheon, which is held at the Bayfront Convention Center. And that is May 19th. And it's over 600 women that come together and have lunch and shop. And it's, listen to speakers and listen to clients on how Mercy Center and Dress for Success has changed their life. And it's a wonderful event. So I'm saying every woman in town should come to this event.
I am going to be there because we women, we do like to shop and we do like to gather different ideas.
And we have wonderful gift baskets. We have usually over 50 or 80 gift baskets that are, really phenomenal. So it's a great 9:30 in the morning you can shop, and then the luncheon's at noon.
Well, and how would they get a hold of you?
They
get
can,
tickets?
Yeah, they can call Mercy Center at 455-4577. They could call Dress for Success at 456-0733. Stop by to see us at 1039 East 27th. I would, call anytime. It's really nice to be able to give a tour and to show people, what we do. And, you always, whenever you do a tour, there's always a little kid that'll come up to you and want to know who you are and why you're there. So, great place.
And you have a great website. What is that?
Yes, mcwerie.org.
Okay. Tons of information. Great website. It touches base a little bit more in depth on some of the programs that Christine and I have been talking about. And viewers, I'll tell you one thing. If you want to volunteer at any nonprofit, this is a great place. You are helping so many women, so many children, Christine. Thank you for all that you do. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. And thank the community again for the support that they've given Mercy Center. over the years.
So again, viewers, if you have any questions or you want to volunteer or you want to participate in any of their fundraisers, feel free to give them a call. Check them out on the website. Again, great website, tons of information. So viewers, thank you for tuning into the Millcreek Government Channel and learning more about the Mercy Center for Women. Until next time, have a wonderful day.
You're watching the Millcreek Government Channel, powered by WQLN Public Media.